So we've cracked out the video camera again to bring you another update from the studio. We've just completed what we're calling the Born Ready Games Mod-Jam, where the studio took a break from usual activities to do something a little bit more interesting. So the studio split down the middle, we split into two teams, and each team had to create a mod for Strike Suit Zero using our mod tools XedMod. Now this was very much a competition, so the idea was that the team with the mod that received the most downloads after a week would be crowned victorious. So there was a lot of tension and rivalry that week, and it was great fun. So Dan and his team, they created a top-down GTA meets Crazy Taxi style game, whereas Sam and his team created a F-Zero Wipeout style game. And here's how they're looking.
Yeah, so we wanted to make something that wasn't really too simple. We wanted to make a mod that maybe kind of pushed the tool a little bit. We didn't want to make a scroller or anything like that. So we kind of landed on the idea of making a racing game, and then the idea kind of evolved a little bit, and we kind of wanted to turn it into sort of a Super Meat Boy meets Wipeout kind of game. And as we went along, we started implementing things like a ghost system into the track, so you can actually, every time you die, you can see a ghost version of yourself, and then you end up racing against yourself. And we kind of started evolving the tracks to try and make it a little bit more difficult as we went along. And it's kind of made it a little bit more interesting, made it a lot more fun to play, which was pretty cool. The stuff that we thought would be the simplest things were probably some of the hardest. We kind of came up against stuff as we went along, and we kind of we got blocked by things, and we had to maybe then go back to the tool and say, hey, we need to change this, we need to add things here to make this kind of work, to move it along a little bit. So on that side, it's kind of a really good feedback for the tool developer, so that he can, it really gave the mod tool a good run.
So the first mod, S0, was really cool because it was using the strengths of the engine. Because of Strike Suit Zero, we have a really kind of complex flight model which can be adapted quite easily for a racing game. It was very ambitious, and I don't think they quite managed to do what they wanted to do, but it was hilarious to play. Really fun game.
Parsec Parcels is a top-down, sort of old-school GTA style courier sim. It's set in a cyberpunk slum city with 4 districts. You play Ron, a delivery ship driver, on his last day before retirement. The city's pretty dangerous, so there are a bunch of obstacles stopping you deliver your parcels. My favourite's probably the traffic. Between the districts there are a number of fast lanes with fast moving traffic, which are dangerous, and you have to dodge them, or you'll be hit, and that'll take up time. You need to deliver your parcels to a time limit, so you actually don't want to get slowed down. It's pretty cool.
Studio Gilby's mod was interesting because it explored other aspects of design. They had a cool story, some interesting characters, and some nice concept art as well. It was definitely the most polished of the 2 mods, but I think they may have borrowed from one of my previous projects. So I spent 2 days with a senior designer, and we made a kind of asteroids jump towards kind of clone. It was a really interesting little project to work on. I'd be interested in progressing it further, and we'll be releasing it with the samples and the documentation, so everyone can pull it apart and see how it works.
Used to working under a lot of pressure, but for me it was nice because it gave me a good opportunity to do some things that were different. It gave a lot of us an opportunity to do something that was different. We've been working on Strike Suit a lot, so this was kind of a really good free reign to kind of be like, hey, what do you guys want to do? Let's do whatever we want. Let's really push our individual skills, and then see what we can do in a really short time period. So that was a really good exercise to do.
The mod tool's actually much more developed than the tool we used to build the game. One of the things which I found really nice to use was the speed of iteration. So where before, when we were making Strike Suit Zero, there was quite a build time in between changes, so I'd make a change to a mesh, I'd have to build the game, wait for a minute or so, boot up the game, navigate to the level or a test level, and then I could finally check an asset or a change to an asset that I'd made.
So when we release the mod tools, we'll be getting out a lot of documentation, samples and video tutorials, keeping a close eye on Steam Workshop, and I'm really interested to see how people implement their crazy ideas.
So that was the Born Ready Games Mod Jam. We don't know at this stage which team was the winning team, but we'll let you know when we know. If you're a modder and you've maybe got a couple of ideas of mods you'd like to do yourself after watching this, jump in and have a go. The mod tools are available through Steam Workshop now, so yeah, get stuck in and let us know how you get on. That's it for today. Thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned for more updates soon.